Most people believe that a lack of discipline is a character flaw, a weak, shameful trait, something that some people have and others simply do not. However, this view is completely misguided. What very few people understand is that discipline, as it is generally defined, actually goes against the way the human brain is designed to operate. And this is not a metaphor or a motivational exaggeration, it is a neurobiological fact. If you have ever felt weak for procrastinating, or if you have ever hated yourself for not being able to stick to your own plans, this is where everything begins to change. This will not judge you. Instead, it will show you that you were never broken. You were simply trying the wrong approach. And once you understand this, you will finally see what the right way actually is. Discipline as a concept seems simple in theory. You just want something badly enough, stay focused, and resist temptation. But when we examine how the human brain actually functions, this perspective is not only oversimplified, it is completely naive. The human brain did not evolve to prioritize long-term goals, abstract targets, or heroic acts of self-control. It evolved for one primary purpose: immediate survival. The reason is straightforward. Your brain is not interested in your long-term goals. It is focused on survival, comfort, and energy efficiency. Over millions of years, humans adapted to conserve energy, seek quick rewards, and avoid unnecessary effort whenever possible. For the majority of human evolution, our ancestors lived in hostile environments where resource scarcity was the norm. The only true priority was surviving until the next day. In that context, the brain adapted accordingly. Immediate rewards were prioritized because eating now mattered more than saving food for later. Sleeping longer was safer than exposing oneself to unnecessary risks. Avoiding effort meant conserving energy for moments when it was truly critical. Generation after generation, the brain was calibrated to seek the quickest, most pleasurable, and least costly path forward. In other words, your brain does not want you to go to the gym. It wants you to stay on the couch because staying still saves energy. It does not want you to write an article or sit down to study. It wants you to open TikTok because dopamine arrives faster there. This is not a defect, and it is not a personal failure. It is simply biology doing what it was designed to do. That same mental software is still running inside you today. When you try to wake up early to go to the gym, your brain interprets this as a direct threat to comfort and energy conservation. When you open your laptop to study or work on an important project, your brain immediately suggests taking a quick look at social media instead, because the pleasure there is instant, predictable, and guaranteed. Going to the gym, reading a technical book, or writing an article all require effort without immediate reward, and the brain strongly resists that. It does not like uncertainty or delayed gratification. Here is the most important detail to understand. Your brain is not rational, it is efficient. It does not choose what is best for you in the long term. It chooses what requires the least amount of energy right now. In neuroscience, this is known as cognitive ease, the brain's natural tendency to default to the path of least resistance. And this choice is not deliberate or conscious. It happens automatically, often before you even realize you are making a decision. The real problem is that modern society demands the exact opposite. To thrive today, we are expected to be disciplined, productive, and consistent at all times. This creates a powerful internal conflict. On one side, there is a brain shaped to function like a lazy hunter-gatherer, optimized for survival and efficiency. On the other side, there is a world that demands the behavior of a focused, resilient supercomputer. These two forces are constantly at odds with each other. Therefore, it is not a lack of willpower. It is a design conflict. Your brain wants to survive and feel good right now. You, on the other hand, want to evolve, improve, and grow in the long term. As long as these two goals remain misaligned, you will continue to feel frustrated, exhausted, and unsuccessful no matter how hard you try. When someone tries to force discipline through sheer willpower, they are essentially attempting to override millions of years of evolutionary programming with a handful of motivational phrases. And, as you might expect, it does not work, at least not for very long. Eventually, motivation fades, resistance increases, and old habits return. Now that you know your brain is programmed to sabotage any attempt at forced discipline, an unavoidable question arises. What if the problem is not you, but the environment you live in? James Clear, the author of the best-selling book Atomic Habits, revealed one of the most important insights about modern human behavior. Real discipline does not come from force. It comes from design. The most consistent people, the ones who appear naturally disciplined, are not stronger or more motivated than everyone else. They have simply created systems and environments that make the right behavior easy, automatic, and almost inevitable. They do not fight against the brain, they learn how to manipulate it in their favor. James Clear summarizes this idea perfectly when he says, "Motivation is overrated, environment is more important." In other words, if you constantly need to rely on willpower, it means you are fighting against the natural structure of your brain, and this is a battle you will always lose. Over time, fatigue inevitably wins. When you are tired, your brain switches to autopilot, and autopilot always chooses the easiest available path. Now that you understand your brain is designed to seek the easiest path, we need to look at the real battleground where these decisions are made, the environment around you. Most people believe that self-control is an internal strength, a kind of moral muscle that simply needs to be trained and strengthened. But the truth, as James Clear reveals, is far more uncomfortable. Self-control is fragile, and it collapses quickly in the face of a poorly designed environment. Imagine this example. You decide to start working out, but when you wake up, your workout clothes are crumpled at the bottom of a drawer. Your sneakers are in the trunk of your car. Meanwhile, the couch is just 3 steps from your bed. Your phone is already in your hand, and Instagram is open before you even realize it. At that moment, the choice is no longer between good and bad. The choice is between what is easy and immediately available and what is hidden, inconvenient, and labor-intensive. And as we have already seen, the brain will always choose the option that requires the least effort. You are trying to change your behavior while maintaining an environment that actively encourages the opposite. Thousands of people who truly understand discipline have arrived at the same conclusion. Discipline is rooted in choice architecture. This term, frequently used by James Clear, explains that human behavior is shaped primarily by what is closest, most accessible, and most visible. It is not a matter of personal strength or moral superiority, it is a matter of behavioral engineering. Here is a clear example. In a study cited by James Clear, water bottles were moved to the front of a cafeteria while soda was placed further back. As a result, water consumption increased and soda consumption decreased, without any motivational campaign, rules, or restrictions. Nothing about the people changed, the environment changed, the decision became easier. And when a healthy choice becomes the simplest option, the brain does not resist it, it follows it naturally. Want to read more? Leave the book on your bed, not hidden inside a drawer. Want to reduce distractions from your phone? Turn off notifications, hide the device, or use blocking apps. Discipline does not come from effort, it comes from preparation. Disciplined people are not inherently stronger than others. They are simply more strategic in how they design their space, their routines, and their triggers. They create systems in which the right behavior requires less energy than the wrong one. You need to stop depending on self-control and start designing your environment as if you were an engineer of your own mind. A behavior that demands conscious effort today can become automatic tomorrow, if it is properly anchored in the environment. But what if, instead of merely removing obstacles from your environment, you could go one step further and hack the very habits your brain already performs on autopilot? The answer lies in one of the most effective strategies revealed by James Clear: habit stacking. How do you move from intention to execution without relying on motivation, which is unstable, unreliable, and weak? The human brain operates through habit loops, which consist of 3 components: cue, routine, and reward. These loops are already running your life, often without your awareness. These actions require almost no effort because they are embedded in the automatic structure of your daily behavior. Habit stacking is both simple and powerful. Instead of attempting to create a new habit from nothing, you attach it to an existing habit. By doing this, you leverage a cue that is already deeply rooted in your brain and use it to introduce a new desired action with minimal resistance. For example, after brushing your teeth, an automatic habit, you meditate for 2 minutes. After preparing breakfast, you write 1 page in your journal. Over time, this sequence creates a form of neural coupling. The brain begins to automatically associate the new behavior with the existing one. In practice, you are hijacking an automatic routine to engineer discipline. And the reason this works so well is simple. You eliminate the biggest barrier of all: the start. Initiating an action requires far more mental energy than continuing one once you are already in motion. When you begin, inertia starts working in your favor. Habit stacking generates momentum, and momentum, far more than willpower, is what keeps behaviors consistent over time. The new action must be carefully chosen. It needs to be short. Start small, ideally with something that takes less than 2 minutes. It must be clear and specific, not vague. Read one page works. Read more does not. It also needs to be immediate, meaning it should happen right after the existing habit, without pause or delay. If you follow this structure, you begin to create mental tracks that make discipline almost inevitable. Your body will simply do it. That is the real victory, when the right action occurs before doubt appears, before laziness sets in, and before rationalization convinces you to quit. These small habit stacks, which seem almost insignificant at first, compound over time. They evolve into stable routines, and when you look back, you realize you have built an entire lifestyle out of connected micro-habits. But if this approach is so powerful, why do so many people still procrastinate, even when they know exactly what they should be doing? The word procrastination carries a heavy emotional weight for most people. It is commonly associated with failure, weakness, and a lack of ambition. But this narrative is completely misguided, and even worse, it is deeply self-destructive. According to James Clear, procrastination is not a personality flaw, nor is it a sign of laziness. It is a symptom, a clear indicator that your environment, your habits, and your systems have been poorly designed. When you procrastinate, it is not because you do not want to take action. It is because, given the way your life is currently structured, taking action requires too much effort, feels unattractive, and offers no immediate reward. The brain operates on the basis of quick gratification. That is why it instinctively avoids tasks that feel difficult, boring, time-consuming, or unrewarding in the moment. Studying, for example, demands focus and mental energy while offering an abstract return. By contrast, opening YouTube or Instagram provides immediate pleasure, requires almost no effort, and delivers constant stimulation. From the brain's perspective, the choice is obvious. This is where the 4 laws of behavior change come into play. James Clear describes them as the foundational principles for making any habit easy to adopt and maintain. 1. Make it obvious. If a desired habit is hidden or out of sight, it will be forgotten. The brain needs clear and constant reminders of what to do. What is visible is what gets done. 2. Make it attractive. A habit needs to create anticipation of pleasure. This can be achieved by pairing it with something you already enjoy, or by making the process itself lighter, more engaging, or more interesting. 3. Make it easy. The more friction a behavior has, the less likely it is to happen. The habit must be reduced to its simplest possible form, so simple that it becomes difficult to say no. 4. Make it satisfying. The behavior must generate a sense of completion or reward. Without this, the brain does not form an emotional attachment to the habit. Imagine someone who wants to build the habit of studying every night. If the study materials are buried in a backpack and they plan to study for a full hour without breaks, the result is predictable. They open their phone and start scrolling through TikTok. Now, let's see how the same habit changes when the 4 laws are applied. The study materials are already open and placed on the table. Obvious. They start with a favorite drink or play relaxing music. Attractive. They commit to studying for just 5 minutes at first. Easy. Upon finishing, they mark their progress and earn a small reward. Satisfying. It's not that the person suddenly became stronger or more disciplined. They simply learned how to design the right behavior. They discovered that discipline is an illusion when the system is poorly constructed, and a natural consequence when the system is well designed. Every time you avoid a task, ask yourself, is this action obvious? Is it minimally attractive? Is it easy to start? Is it generating any reward? If the answer is no to one or more of these questions, you are facing a design problem, not a discipline problem. The most fascinating part is that when you begin applying these laws consistently, procrastination almost disappears effortlessly. You do not need to force yourself to act. There is a very popular and highly misleading idea in productivity culture that you must enjoy the process to become disciplined. How many times have you heard phrases like, fall in love with the routine, or love the journey? It sounds beautiful, inspiring even, but it is false. You do not need to like discipline, you just need to make it inevitable. Highly productive people do not wake up every day excited to do what needs to be done. They are not thrilled by every task, nor do they have limitless energy to maintain perfect habits. What they do have is a structure that ensures the right actions occur, even when they don't feel like it. Imagine you want to build the habit of running in the morning. On 9 out of 10 days, you will wake up without desire. Now imagine a different scenario. You leave your running shoes and workout clothes next to your bed. You place your phone alarm far away, forcing yourself to get up. Your workout partner is waiting at the corner at 6:30 a.m. Running hasn't become more enjoyable, it remains demanding, but you have reduced friction and added so much structure around it that running has now become the path of least resistance. The decision was effectively made before the desire even appeared. This is what disciplined people do. They do not rely on desire. They create systems that work even on bad days. Your goal should not be to fall in love with discipline. Your goal should be to make important behaviors so automatic, so integrated into your routine, that executing them requires less effort than avoiding them. That is the difference between living in the realm of motivation and living in the realm of systems. In the realm of motivation, everything depends on your mood, your energy, and your momentary enthusiasm. In the realm of systems, however, action is automatic. It is the default. James Clear summarizes this with brutal clarity. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. This means your future will not be defined by your intentions, but by your daily habits. The more these habits are automated, the less you will depend on motivation. You simply need to make them so well integrated into your life that they cease to be a choice and instead become part of your identity. Discipline is not an end in itself. It is a reflection of who you believe you are. After everything we have discussed, it becomes clear that what we call discipline is not an innate virtue, nor is it a mystical talent reserved for a select few. Discipline, in fact, is a side effect, a natural consequence of a well-designed system, an intentional environment, and a solid identity. When all of these elements are aligned, acting in a disciplined manner ceases to be a constant effort and becomes your new normal. No change in habit, routine, or behavior will truly last if there is no change in how you see yourself. And that, ultimately, is the true core of transformation. James Clear argues that the deepest level of behavior change is not about what you want to achieve. It is about who you decide to be. Identity shapes habits, and habits reinforce identity. It is a continuous cycle. If you want to be a disciplined person, even small daily decisions, seemingly insignificant, become votes of affirmation toward a new identity. Every time you train, even when you don't feel like it. Every time you choose to read instead of scrolling through your feed. Each of these moments is a declaration. I am the kind of person who does what needs to be done. This is far more powerful than any motivational video, any technique, or any elaborate plan. Why? Because you are not simply trying to act differently, you are becoming someone different. When identity shifts, behavior follows naturally. Therefore, real discipline is not the ultimate goal. It is merely the reflection of a mind that has learned to play the right game, a mind that has stopped fighting against its own biology and started designing paths of least resistance for the correct behaviors. It is the mind of someone who understands that victory does not come from force, but from structure. You can continue blaming yourself for not being strong enough, or you can begin today to build the environment, the habits, and the identity that make discipline inevitable. Stop waiting for motivation. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be consistent enough to let the system do the work for you.